प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की, ब्रजभूमि से वृंदावन धाम की, मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, अयोध्या धाम की, गंगा जमुना मैया की, तुलसी महारानी भक्ति देवी की, सावेत भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा दामोदर भगवान की, राधा गिरधारी भगवान की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा की, श्री श्री गौनिताय भगवान की, कार्तिक व्रत महीना की, गौ प्रेमानंदी. Oh, glories to assembled devotees. Glories to assembled devotees. Glories to assembled devotees. Glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Gaur Premanandi. Om Ajnanatimirandakshya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shuktapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्राणमामि हरि प्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुवेव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 3, text number 33, Chapter 31, text number 33, chapter entitled The Movement of the Living Entities. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the presence of very senior Vaishnavas, Shriman Jai Srila Prabhu, good wife Mataji, Madhuri Mataji, Nandavraj Prabhu. So it's always a little difficult when senior Vaishnavas are in front of you and you have to speak. We were just remembering how I used to always speak at the old temple, and Jai Srila Prabhu headed the fundraising and I followed his footsteps, and we collected some Lakshmi at the verge of the opening of the new temple. That's when I came in, and yourself had been collecting for a very long time. And Madhuri used to, keep us enthused. So, text 33, we'll go word by word, then line by line, and we'll go like that. Satyam, Saucham, Daya, Maunam, Buddhi, Shrir, Hiri, Yasya, Shama, Samo, Damo, Bhagas, Cheti, Yat, Sangat, Yati, Sangshayam. Satyam Socham Daya Maunam, Buddhi Shri Hirir Yashak Shama, Buddhi Shri Hiri Yasha Shama, Samo Damo Bhagas Cheti, Yat sangadyati sanshayam. Satyam socham daya maunam. Buddhi shri hiriyasya shama. Samodamo bhagascheti. Yat sangadyati sanshayam. Satyam socham daya maunam. Buddhi shri hiriyasya shama. Samodamo bhagascheti. Yat sangadyati sanshayam. Please repeat. Satyam socham daya maunam. Samodamo bhagascheti. Yat sangadyati samsayam. Satyam socham daya maunam. Buddhi shri hiriyasya shama. Samodamo bhagascheti. Yat sangatyeti sanshayam. Satyam socham daya maunam. Buddhi shri hiriyasya shama. Samodamo bhagascheti. Yas sangadyati sanshaya. Mataji's. Satyam socham daya maunam. Buddhi shri hiriyasya shama. Samodamo bhagascheti. Yat sangadyati sanshaya. Satyam socham daya maunam. Buddhi shri hiriyasya shama. Samodamo bhagascheti. Yat sangayati sanshayam. Satyam, truthfulness. Socham, cleanliness. Daya, mercy. Maunam, gravity. Buddhi, intelligence. Shri, prosperity. Hiri, shyness. Yashya, fame. Shama, forgiveness. Shama, control of the mind. Damaha, control of the senses. Bhaga, fortune. Cha, and iti, thus. Yat sangat, from association with whom. Yat sanshayam, are destroyed. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. He becomes devoid of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, spiritual intelligence, shyness, austerity, fame, forgiveness, control of mind, control of senses, fortune, and all such opportunities. Purport. Those who are too addicted to sex life cannot understand the purpose of the absolute truth, nor can they be clean in their habits, not to mention showing mercy to others. They cannot remain grave, and they have no interest in the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is Krishna or Vishnu. But those who are addicted to sex life cannot understand that their ultimate interest is Krishna consciousness. Such people have no sense of decency, and even in public streets or public parks, they embrace each other just like cats and dogs and pass it off in the name of lovemaking. Such unfortunate creatures can never become materially prosperous. Behavior like that of cats and dogs keeps them in the position of cats and dogs. They cannot improve any material condition, not to speak of becoming famous. Such foolish persons may even make a show of so-called yoga, but they are unable to control the senses and mind, which is the real purpose of yoga practice. Such people can have no opulence in their lives. In a word, they are very unfortunate. So we will just read the verse before, because this verse today is like a continuation of the previous verse. If therefore the living entity again associates with the path of unrighteousness, influenced by sensually minded people, engaged pursuit of sexual enjoyment and the gratification of the palate, he again goes to hell as before. And this verse, therefore he becomes devoid of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, spiritual intelligence, shyness, austerity, fame, forgiveness, control of mind, control of senses, fortune, and all such opportunities. So, this chapter, as we have previously heard about the movement of the living entities, how the child is born, the development of the child in the womb of the mother, and after the child is born, how he comes in contact with the material energy, material atmosphere, and thus, because of the touch of the material atmosphere, which is rather contaminated, he becomes entangled. So this verse tells that such people, or everyone in fact, actually this verse today, and Srila Prabhupada's purport today, is practically the condition of the general people. Right? Generally, people are devoid of truthfulness, devoid of cleanliness, mercy, gravity, spiritual intelligence is not there, shyness is not there, austerity, forget about it, fame, forgiveness, control of mind, control of senses, fortune, and all these opportunities they are devoid of. So, like Prabhupada says in the purport, such people can have no opulence in their lives. In a word, they are very unfortunate. So, unfortunate, we can understand this is 100% true for everyone. Right? Material life itself, material birth is an unfortunate situation. Right? In a way, material existence, material life is a punishment for the living entity for their wrongdoing. It is due to our forgetfulness of Krishna. We have been born and we are put in such an unfortunate situation because material life, material existence itself is a unfortunate condition. This verse reminds me of another verse from the Bhagavad Gita, which is the opposite of this verse. the qualities of a Brahmana, right? Sama, Dama, Tapa, Saucham, Santim, Arvajam, Evacha, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam, Brahma, Karma, Sabhavajam. So the Brahmanas or the devotees of the Lord, the Vaishnavas, they have such good qualities. But whereas materialistic people are devoid of the qualities that a Brahmana has or experiences. We'll just go through these qualities. Truthfulness, right? It is said that there is a little bit of truthfulness in Kali Yuga. 75% doesn't exist. The 4 legs of the cow that Kali, chopped off. He said it was standing on one leg which was shaky, and that leg was truthfulness. So there is a little bit of truthfulness in people, but generally people are not truthful. You will not find a thoroughly truthful person. It's very, very hard. Right? Cleanliness, mercy, gravity, spiritual intelligence. There is no doubt that these qualities all are not seen in general people. Now, the Brahmanical qualities that are mentioned, right? Of course, these qualities we don't see in people, but how to attain such qualities, right? Scriptures explain. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Asat sang tyag hai Vaishnava achar." In order to attain good qualities in life, one should first of all have good association. With good association, good qualities can be imbibed in us. No doubt about that. When I was reading the verse and the purport, there is a story in the Bhagavatam that very much resonates a personality that this verse speaks about. Association, wrong association, and devoid of all good qualities. A person may sometimes have good qualities, but by association, he can lose good qualities. Generally, people don't have good qualities, even though you may be fortunate enough to have some good qualities, but with the influence of association, it goes away. The story of Ajamil in the Bhagavatam is a very classic story. Just like in the previous verse also, it is said that the living entity again associates with the path of unrighteous, influenced by sensually minded people engaged in pursuit of sexual enjoyment. We see Ajamil being born in a Brahmin family, was a very cultured Brahminical young boy. But just one little incident, like Bhagavad Gita says, Dhyayato visay pumsa, sangaste subjayate, sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodh vijayate. That by contemplating on the sense objects, one develops attachment to it. And then from attachment comes anger. Right? Dhyato visay pumsa sangaste subjayate, sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodh vijayate. We become angry when we do not, our attachment or our desire to attain a particular thing that we have become attached to, if it's not fulfilled, then we are frustrated, we are angry. Right? Sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodh vijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibramha, smriti brahmashad buddhi nasha pranashati. So it goes on and on. When we are angry, we lose our mind. Right? Then intelligence is lost. Intelligence is lost, memory is gone, and then we fall again into the material pool. Right? Pranashati, we have finished. So it all starts with dhyato vishaya pumsa. Right? There is something that is called darshan. We can see things, but contemplating is another thing. You stay there and you try to enjoy it. Right? We can, in a positive way, contemplate in the form of the Lord. But contemplating on sense objects is rather very detrimental to spiritual progress. So here Krishna says that how by just seeing the objects of senses one becomes attached. And similarly, the example of Ajamil is very classic in the Bhagavatam. He was such a Brahmanical, pure-hearted, pure-minded boy with such a sight of a drunkard lady and a low-class man embracing in public, like Prabhupada mentions in the past, that we have become so shameless that we, embrace each other in public places like parks and so forth, and call it off in the name of love-making. That's what Prabhupada writes in the purport. So we see this every day, right? This is no surprise, to us. But like Ajamil, the good qualities Brahman, just by such vision, became devoid of all good qualities. Whatever this verse is saying, devoid of all these wonderful qualities which actually Ajamil had. So by associating with the women, eventually getting married to her, indulging in, like what Prabhupada says here, in sensual enjoyment, like sexual pursuit of sexual enjoyment, he lost it all. So all the good qualities which are mentioned here, truthfulness, cleanliness, gravity, spiritual intelligence, austerity, fame, forgiveness, control of mind, control of senses, everything was gone. We can see it is said that Ajamil did not commit, that sinful activity that did not exist. He practically committed every type of sinful activity we could know to please his wife. Right? He murdered, he plundered, he did every type of nonsense. But just see where he's coming from. He was a cultured Brahmana. But association, everything is gone with the wrong association. So we can see the story of Ajamil is amazing. But what happened? On the flip side, Ajamil, when did his heart change? When we hear that he uttered the name of Lord Narayan on the deathbed, and then the 4 Vishnu Dutas came. The Vishnu Dutas were having the conversation with the Yamadutas, why you cannot take Ajamil, today, back to Yamalok. There was a conversation. If you know the Bhagavatam, in that section, the Vishnu Dutas preach to Yamadutas. There is a philosophical discussion, and he speaks about the Supreme Lord Vishnu and how he has uttered the name of that Supreme Lord. And one who has uttered the name of Supreme Lord, even in Namabhas, not even, see the situation of Ajamil was, he was not completely pure. Because of his previous devotion, he had some attraction for Krishna previously. But at this point when they were talking to each other, when Vishnu Dutas were preaching, he was getting purified by the words emanating from the pure devotees. So Vishnu Dutas are none other than pure devotees of the Lord. They are given that position because they are pure devotees. So because the pure devotees speaking and he is hearing, the power of hearing is in a way mentioned here. That by hearing from a pure devotee, it makes immediate effect. Prabhupada explains, it gives a good example. It's just like when you are very sick, very, very high fever. A few tablet doesn't do, a few capsules or tablets doesn't do the job when it's really high fever. What you need is a strong dose of antibiotics injected in your bloodstreams. And when antibiotics is injected in your bloodstreams, it has an immediate effect. Not those Panadols or whatever. It does have effect, but when you are sick like this, I remember I became very sick once, and the doctor injected me with it, and immediately in 20 minutes time, I had not eaten for a few days. I immediately wanted to eat ice cream. Within 20 minutes, I felt appetite. So yes, so Prabhupada says similarly, when the dose of katha from pure devotees injected through our ear, just like the antibiotics injected in the bloodstream makes immediate effect for the sick person, so Krishna katha through the eyes goes inside and makes effect into the heart. So when Vishnu Duta was speaking to the Yamadutas, it made him remember Krishna. So what happens when Vishnu Duta and Yamadut disappear? Ajamil, wakes up from his, condition, gets up, forgets about everything, and marches towards Badrikashram, for pursuing spiritual life once again. He awakens from his sleeping state. Just like Dhritarashtra also. Dhritarashtra was a very nice man. Initially, when Pandu passed away, when the Pandavas were very small, he was very, very kind and very, very nice. He cried like anything when he heard of his brother die. He treated the Pandavas like his own sons, even more initially. But later on, by the association, initially the association of Sakani, who polluted Duryodhan, who polluted his father. And then he started to see the bad, in the Pandavas and tried to favor his sons. And he was no longer of good character anymore. So this same Dhritarashtra, when the Mahabharata war was over, a pure devotee comes to him and speaks very sharply. He was such an embarrassment, shameful personality, Dhritarashtra. Even after losing all his sons, he was the very reason for the Mahabharata war. If he wanted, he was the king. He could have stopped it, but he did not. He thought that there is a chance that his sons could win. His, over attachment to his sons was the reason for the war. So even after the war, he's still, sitting around. Now Yudhishthira Maharaj is the king, and the Pandavas are ruling the whole planet. They have the Hastinapur Raj. Now this old man, shameful man, is still living under them, eating, what they give him. So this is kind of like an embarrassing situation. You were now, previously you were trying to, kill them all. They have won now, and then you are here, shamefully eating what is thrown to you by them. Everyone was very nice to him in Hastinapur, except for who used to taunt him? No, someone used to taunt him within the Pandavas. No, within the Pandavas, of the Pandava brothers, someone used to come and taunt him that why are you still here, you old man? Bhima. Bhima was always very vocal. Every time he would speak out. Even when Yudhishthira Maharaj chased Draupadi, Bhima was vocal. Everyone was okay because they thought he was Dharmaraj. He makes no mistake. But Bhima spoke out. He said, I want to burn his hands now. I want to burn Yudhishthira Maharaj's hands, because with these very hands he played the dice game and brought this misfortune. What was the fault of Draupadi? Why did he gamble him? So he was very angry. So Bhima was always very vocal. So he used to taunt. And then finally a pure devotee, Vidur, comes and then he says, in very sharp words, that you are living, under the Pandavas in Hastinapur now like a dog. Your position is no better than a dog. Because you are, as a dog, the owner or the master throws him some food, he comes, wags his tails and eats it. This is your condition. These people were your enemies in a way. They are throwing some food to you, and you are, so shameful that you are accepting the food, and then, I don't understand, what are you doing here? So the words of the pure devotee, he actually preached him. He woke up from that state, and then he also went to Badrika Ashram to perfect his life. Of course, his wife Gandhari followed him. So we can see the words of the pure devotees. In the case of Ajamil, the Vishnu Dutas, in the case of Dhritarashtra, Vidur's pure words makes that difference. Right? We wake up and this is association. That's why association is so important. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj also, right? Although sometimes we get people like Hiranyakashipu, right? Although Prahlad tried to preach to him, he would not listen. I like some of these two verses, are very favorite from the Bhagavatam, what Prahlad says to his father. He says, "Oh best of the demons," he says, "Matirna Krishna prato sadova mito abhipadyate grihavratanam adanta gobhir vistam tamisram puna puna charvita charvananam." We know these two famous things. They come from this verse, chewing the chewed. So puna punas charvita charvananam is chewing the chewed. So this is the words spoken by Prahlad Maharaj to his father. He says, "Matina Krishna prato sadova mitpo abhipadye grihavratanam." I mix the two. So this is the next one. Matirna Krishna prato satova mito abhipadyate grihavatantam adant gobhir vistam parishnam punas puna charvita charvananam. So he says, in short, he tells his father that how people in material life, they do not follow the path of righteousness. They do not want to worship Vishnu. They try to enjoy sense enjoyment in such a way, they're trying to chew and think that there is some juice there. They try to chew what that has already been chewed. So, those who have chewed, I'm from Fiji, so we have chewed a lot of sugarcane from, stealing from the neighbor's farm. So once you chew sugarcane, after some time, it's just nothing there. So if you chew it again, there's nothing coming out of it. So he said, this is what the materialistic people are up to. They're trying to get some juice out of where there is no juice. And he also says, another verse, Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. People don't think their swartha or their ultimate good is to worship Vishnu. Na says swartha. Swa means me. Artha means my benefit. People don't understand the benefit is to worship Krishna. Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. Durasaya bahir artha manina. Durashaya. They are so unfortunate. Again the word unfortunate. Right, has come again. They are so unfortunate. Durashaya bahir artha manina. They're trying to find some benefit, artha, bahir, in the material world. Bahir artha manina. Andhayatandhe rupanye manas. Again this one, blind following the blind. It was spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. Andhayatandhe rupanye manas tesham tantram urdamani baddha. So what happens when such blind leaders who train people to do this, right? They're all making a progressive march towards hell. That's what Prahlad Maharaj says to his father. Everyone is making a progressive march towards hell. Oh, a blind following a blind. What happens? They all fall in a ditch, right? So this is the condition of material civilization, material life. So my point here is that people like Hiranyakashipu did not change. So sometimes we cannot convince everyone, right? We have to leave it to Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj left it to Krishna. But we can understand that Vidur was able to change the heart of Dhritarashtra. The Vishnu Dutas changed the heart of sinful Ajamil. So such is the power of the words of the pure devotee. So hearing is so important. We should always hear, and then our progress in spiritual life is guaranteed, right? So knowledge, hearing Krishna Katha, reading Krishna Katha gives the reason for us to become pure, right? Like in this verse, it is said that one is devoid of good qualities. But how to get good qualities, right? How to become a Brahmana, Sama, Dhamma, Sapa, Socham. It's one of the things that I would like to clarify. The most powerful process is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. And a very powerful process is hearing. Just like hearing really changes your heart. So hearing and reading constantly will give you a reason, always remind you the reason of always remaining clean. Always remaining pure in your consciousness. And what makes you clean and pure in your consciousness is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So the knowledge will always remind you what is the purpose of life, who we are, what we should be doing, what is the ultimate goal of life. So this knowledge actually inspires us, keeps us fixed up. And then the chanting, takes its feather, really cleanses our heart. There is no possibility of any spiritual progress, any cleanness of consciousness, or anything like Krishna conscious without very seriously chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the process for this age. One must, give up all excuse, but chant your rounds properly.